times are changing, and I'm tired of this shooting. And everyone in our community is tired of these bullets flying without any consideration for yourself, for your friends, for anyone else around, innocent bystanders, just out there like it's the Wild West shooting at each other. The offense, excuse me, of possession of a prohibited weapon, there was an agreement to probation. There was not an agreement to the type or duration of the probation. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And I've received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Yes, Your Honor.
State answer.
Are there any additions or corrections?
Just in regards to,
Ms. Holmes.
I'm sorry. Just in
Okay.
regard to Mr. White's statement, he does want the court to know that he does take full responsibility. He was provided, obviously, the definition with care, custody, control, in which that's why he pled, because the gun was at his feet in the vehicle. So he does take responsibility.
Okay.
No corrections from the state judge or additions.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Detective Kidwell, would you please state for the record?
Anthony Wright, Kidwell.
And Detective Kidwell, how are you employed, sir?
City of Fort Hunter,
How long have you been with PAPD?
25 years.
Sorry.
Are you familiar through your law enforcement experience with the defendant, Jalen White?
Yes, sir.
Jalen White, is it fair to say that he is known to law enforcement there in Port Arthur?
Yes.
Please briefly describe to the jury in what way.
Or to the judge. You said jury.
I'm sorry, I'm so used to jury.
That's okay.
Briefly describe for the judge how it is that Jalen White has come to be known to law enforcement there.
Okay. So in January 24, there was an incident where over 30 rounds were shot. Permanently.
Can you pull that a little closer just so they can hear you as well?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. White was involved in that. Didn't cooperate with law enforcement when they spoke to him. Previous before that.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but let's drill down on the firing of those 30 rounds. Where was this, where did this incident take place?
So that was in front of Bechtel, which is in Jefferson City, about 39th and Twin City.
Okay.
Pretty busy parking lot. It was I don't remember the time, but it was daylight.
Okay. But nevertheless, through the law enforcement investigation, Jalen White was somehow tied to or suspected to have been involved in that particular incident.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sorry, I stepped on you, I interrupted you. And did he cooperate with law enforcement?
No. 901 Main, Bill Main apartment complex, somebody called saying numerous shots were fired. Officers get out there, spoke to a couple people, they didn't want to talk. They found a vehicle that was shot 15 times. Found the owner of that vehicle, spoke to her. Reading the officer's reports, Mr. White was loosely involved in that one too. Officers tried to talk to him at that point. They seen him standing there. He refused to talk to them, so didn't have nothing to go on there. So the officers believed it was part of an incident that happened about a week prior at a different complex, same area. Where another 14 to 16 rounds, I think they reported, were shot. A male was struck at that point. Mr. White was known or claimed to be involved in that one too. Didn't want to cooperate on that one. And then just local calls for service. Got some unlawful carrying of weapons. Another shooting incident where he or his buddy were accidentally shot together. I don't remember if Mr. White was a victim on that one or if his buddy was, but nobody wanted to talk on that one either, explain what happened.
So is it fair, and give the judge some idea of the time frame we're talking about. How far back does it go as far as him being essentially on the radar of law enforcement?
So everything picks up around 2020, year 2020.
All right, 2020, up to present day.
24.
24. And what, if any, information do you have with regard to this defendant's either ties or gang affiliation or links to certain individuals there in the community?
So his association, we don't have a gang unit, so the intelligence is kind of thin, but, the people he's associated with, some notable figures, they're all involved in violence. A lot of shootings where it's almost indiscriminate. It seems like that group, nobody in particular, just doesn't care if anybody gets shot or gets hurt. And there's zero cooperation with law enforcement. There's all the information that's obtained is either from witnesses who don't know what's going on. They just say what they saw, or nobody wants to get involved directly. So inner beefs, street rivalries, or whatever it is, it's almost mass chaos at times. It seems like.
And fair to say that this defendant has essentially been on the periphery or somehow tangentially involved in a lot of this, for lack of a better term, chaos there in Port Arthur.
Yes,
Pass the witness.
Okay, so you mentioned a couple of instances. Would you agree that apparently you stated that Mr. White, you believe, has been involved with several incidents, but he has not been charged with anything that you were referring to from July of 2023 or January of 2024, is that correct?
No.
Okay, and so you obviously were not present at any of these instances that you testified to, is that correct?
No.
Okay, so the information that you received would be information you've either received from other people in the community or officers who possibly may have made reports at that time.
Yes, ma'am, including the local system.
Right, and obviously, if there was something egregious or something that Mr. White did that amounted to a crime, then you all obviously could file charges, is that correct?
Yes.
But none of that has been done?
No.
Okay. And you have no knowledge or any involvement as to the current case in which we are here today for sentencing, is that correct?
I was involved on the federal level, but it didn't, that was declined on the federal side.
Right, but this current office is with Groves PD, you're not with Groves PD. Thank you. Could you state your name for the record?
Corporal Sean Robertson.
Okay, and Ms. Robertson, are you the mother of Jalen White?
Yes,
Okay, and you understand we're here today, it's for a sentencing hearing in regards to Jalen, in which he pled guilty to the offense of possessing a prohibited weapon.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, now, you probably know Jalen better than anybody in this courtroom. But if you could let the court know as far as the support that Jalen has and what you all intend to help him with so that he can thrive to complete probation.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Jalen, he's very loving. I'm gonna be honest. He just chose the wrong path. You know, want to follow the boys, and, you know, do what the guys do. But he's really from a loving family. And he has a very strong support system. He has relatives all over that's willing to help Jalen to get him on the right track, do whatever he needs to do to obey the law and to continue to strive and be the young man that I know and his family knows that he can become.
Yes, ma'am. Now, obviously, you just testified in regards to he got off hanging with the wrong crowd, which has obviously led him to where we are today.
Yes, ma'am.
But with that understanding, now that he's been in custody for quite some time, that he is willing to make that change to get on the right track. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you understand that we are asking the court to give Jalen the chance of deferred probation, meaning if he was to successfully complete probation, then this case would be dismissed. Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that Jalen does not have any felony convictions at this time.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Okay, now, where do you reside?
I reside in Fort Arthur.
In Port Arthur,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
And Jalen, does he also, is that where he resides as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is it correct in my understanding that prior to incarceration, Jalen obtained a TWIC card?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that he can work and be a laborer in the refineries, things like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, is it your understanding that a conviction, obviously a felony conviction could affect that?
Yes, ma'am. I'm aware.
Okay. Is it true that Jalen also has 2 young children?
Yes, ma'am, he does. He has a boy and a girl.
Okay, and does he, prior to going into custody, does he provide for those children, and are you all involved, with raising those children?
Well, when Jalen is working, he is active in his kid's life, and he does try to provide the best way he can when he is working for his
Okay.
kids.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Now, you also understand that if, Jalen is given this opportunity, he is to absolutely have no firearms around him, even the people that he are around in the household. It does say, if anyone in your household, if there is a firearm, would you be willing to either get rid of it or make sure it's stored in a place in
Yes,
which he
ma'am.
does not have access?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything, additional that you would like for the court to know?
No, I just want you to give him a chance. He's really a good kid. He just chose the wrong path. Like I said, he has, everybody has a mean streak in him, but he's harmless. It's just when he feels like it's for him or his family is, in danger, that's anybody that, but for the most part, he's a good kid. And he has a very strong support system. And we will do whatever we have to do to make sure he stays on the straight and narrow way.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass it with Ms. Sherman.
Thank you. Any,
Morning, Ms. Robertson. I just have just a few questions for you. You understand that your son, the defendant, Mr. Jalen White, has pled guilty to possessing a firearm that has or was outfitted with what's called a Glock switch. You understand that?
Yes, sir. I understand.
And do you understand how a Glock switch works?
I'm not too familiar with the firearms.
But would you disagree with me if I told you that a Glock switch enables a regular firearm to fire as a fully automatic weapon? Would you disagree with that?
No.
Okay. And you mentioned that your son was quote unquote harmless. Would you agree with me that a firearm that has been outfitted to fire indiscriminately and fully automatically, that's not harmless?
Right. It's not harmless.
And you would understand and you would agree that while you say that he has a support system in place, that he's been arrested for at least 10 offenses, correct?
Correct.
And he's only, what, 21, 22 years old?
He's only 22, but once again, we're not aware of everything that Jalen does. When Jalen does what Jalen does, his family isn't aware. And when he is in trouble, I do my best to try to tell him, take care of your business, son. Do what you have to do.
And I don't doubt that, Ms. Robinson. You understand that at 21 or 22, that Jalen is an adult, right?
Yes, sir. I do understand that.
And that he is responsible for the decisions that he makes, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that the decisions that he's made have led him here today.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
thank you. Anything else, Ms. Holmes? Ms. Holmes, you may proceed with argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. One of the key things that I do want to point out to the court in regards to the police/court version and the PSI is that there is no indication at the time of this offense that Mr. White was belligerent with the officer or caused any trouble with the officer at that time. The vehicle was stopped due to expired tags. There was this firearm found under the back passenger seat, which is where Mr. White was sitting. He was sitting in the back passenger seat, and the firearm was found on the floorboard at that time. He has taken responsibility of possessing a prohibited weapon, in which he did enter a plea of guilty to. Your Honor, we also would like, for obviously in this PSI, it does stand out that Mr. White does not have any felony conviction history. This is this case is from 2023, in which we are here today, but he does not have any prior felony history, and it appears that there was a theft of firearm from this year that was rejected by the district attorney's office. And so, Your Honor, typically we know at this court you do try to give chances, especially to our young men and women that have been involved with offenses that do not have a felony conviction, to give them that opportunity with deferred adjudicated probation. I feel in this instance that Mr. White deserves that chance to show that he can get back on the right track to successfully complete probation and understand that he is not to be in the vicinity of people who are involved in any type of illegal activity or be in situations that can get him into a world of trouble. We are asking that he be given that opportunity with the deferred probation, Your Honor. We understand that it can be up to 10 years, in which he is willing to do if the court will assess a fine and any other stipulations. We also see in the PSI report under the recommendations is that the probation department is recommending ISF, the cognitive track of the intermediate sanctions facility, in which we are in agreement with as well, for him to be able to successfully complete that, so that when he is released and out back into the world to complete probation, that he will have those tools that he needs to successfully complete the probation, Your Honor. We are asking that he is given that opportunity so that he does not start his young adult life with a conviction, a felony conviction, and that he's given that opportunity so that he can show that he can do what is right. I appreciate Detective Kidwell coming in. However, I think in light of, obviously, if there is a concern with Mr. White has not been charged with anything in connection with any offenses from January of 2024 or July of 2023. So, Your Honor, I honestly feel, I guess the court can take that with a grain of salt, because we don't have any information, and Mr. White has never been charged with anything in connection with any type of those offenses that were testified to. In addition, Mr. White has 2 young children that he is asking to be released so that he can get out to get back and provide for those children. Obviously, with a TWIC card, a felony conviction will drastically affect that. That is one of the ways that Mr. White is able to provide for his family, and we know that with the felony conviction that he more than likely will probably lose that TWIC card. And so we are asking, Your Honor, that you take that into consideration as well when deciding Mr. White's sentence. Lastly, which is probably one of the few times I can say this, but there is not a lot of jail incident reports. It looks like there were 2, one from June, in which it looks like he was just written up because he gave an orange jumper to an inmate, and then the other one from August 2nd is because he was talking. So there is no reports, unlike what the court probably gets a lot, of him being belligerent, cussing out the guards, fighting. There is no indication of that, which I feel like is a good indication that he understands that he can abide by authority. He can listen. The only one is just him. He was talking to some other bunkmates, and then the other he gave an orange jumper. So I do think the court obviously can take that into consideration as far as his behavior at the jail, in which he has not been that belligerent and disruptive inmate that the court sees a lot when inmates come into here. So, Your Honor, we are asking that you take all of that into consideration and give him an opportunity with deferred probation.
Thank you, Ms. Holmes. Mr. Coleman?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just briefly, if this case and this defendant is indicative of the issue or issues that we're seeing in this society, in our community right now, youthful offenders with these high-powered firearms who are out there wreaking havoc. I brought Detective Kidwell here today to give the court more of a full picture of this defendant and his situation and how he is somehow around or somehow tied to these other instances where bullets are just flying left and right in our community, Judge. If I thought I could get jail time out of this court, I would ask for jail time. Then this defendant, despite his numerous previous arrests, have somehow has avoided significant jail time or a felony. However, Judge, I think in this instance, under these circumstances, with this type of a firearm I feel with a Glock switch, I think it warrants and merits a stronger response, a stronger punishment. This defendant has earned every bit of being saddled with a felony for being part of this group, this culture, this ethos that says it's okay to be out there with these guns. And this is everybody's fly, Judge. I'm asking that you place this defendant on post-conviction probation, in other words, straight probation, and with whatever other conditions that this court thinks is appropriate. Thank you.
Both of the attorneys make good arguments with regard to what to do and what type of probation. And Ms. Holmes is right. Most of the time on youthful offenders, I'm going to give an opportunity for a deferred probation. Times are changing, and I'm tired of this shooting. And everyone in our community is tired of these bullets flying without any consideration for yourself, for your friends, for anyone else around, innocent bystanders, just out there like it's the Wild West shooting at each other. You were in a car with marijuana, with a scale for the marijuana, so it's not like you're just using, there's something else going on here, with a Glock that has a Glock switch on it, with an extended
Magazine.
thank you, all right where you are. So this, I'm not sure whose it is, but I'm going to take responsibility, is bull. It's just bull. You're not driving around in that car with those buddies and don't know that there's an extended magazine where you're sitting in your seat and a gun at your feet. And you also don't know, there's no way you didn't know that there was a Glock switch on that gun and what else was going on. Obviously, these other incidents that detectives talking about, lucky people didn't get killed. It's every day that they are with all this shooting, not cooperating. Everybody's just like, oh, we're just going to go shoot each other. Nobody's going to tell on anybody. And one of the ways that I can help, I think, keep the community safe is, in this case, with a conviction, because that means you cannot, by law, possess a firearm. And if you do, it's another felony. And so I am going to find that you entered a plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of possession of a prohibited weapon. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 10 years in prison, but probate that. You will be on probation for 10 years. You're ordered to pay a $1,000 fine and follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. One of those conditions is going to be that you enter and successfully complete the cognitive track of the ISF program. That is not necessarily meant to be a punishment. This is a big probation for 10 years. I just sentenced you to 10 years. If you violate your probation, I just did the sentence. It's 10, right? So this is a 90-day facility that helps you make better decisions, okay? That's what we want. I want you to be successful. I understand this might affect future jobs, but I think the other side of protecting the community and that conviction with regard to the possession of firearms is more important for me in the community. I appreciate your mom being here. It looks like you've probably had her trying for a long time to get you on the right path, and you've been on the wrong path for a long time. This is your opportunity to get on the right path, even with a conviction. When you get out of ISF, you will be on the high-medium caseload for some amount of time. That means you'll have to report more often. You're going to have resources. Probation's there to help you. They're not there to make you slip up and end up in prison. But it's going to be up to you to do what you're supposed to do. You'll have curfews. You will not be allowed to be around anyone else who has a pending case, who has been convicted of anything. Part of what's going into this also, for me, is the fact that you were on bond on this case, and you've got you're on a probation for a misdemeanor, evading detention, running from the cops. While you're on that probation, all this happens, and you've got 3 more: failure to ID a fugitive, resisting arrest, and evading detention. You're running from the cops, you're not cooperating with them when you know certain things. And so with that kind of history and with this kind of offense, that's going to be what that sentence is, all right? I'm going to hand you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement, so you've waived your right to appeal. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Again, because of this judgment against you, you are ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term. You can read that written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Ms. Holmes. All right?